Vostok lives on! Yes, thank God! In the last episode, I told you guys that the whole city wasn't loading, it wasn't working, and thankfully some of you suggested some fixes, and oh my god, they actually worked. That is so crazy. I didn't think the fixes were going to work. I thought it was doomed forever, but we are back, and today we're going to be working on this one avenue right there, that one empty, really obvious empty spot right there. We're going to fill that in, so let's get straight into it. So it's going to be mostly residential and a little bit of commercial scattered throughout the whole area, but mostly I want it to be maybe a little bit more upper scale, fancy, residential, nice looking area. Whether or not it turns out like that, you can be the judge. So in terms of the road design, I didn't want to add on any more road connections to this boulevard, so I wanted to utilize these existing connections that we already have, and then also, instead of putting the buildings on the actual boulevard, avenue, whatever you want to call it, I'm using this lovely little road here. This is the pedestrian friendly road. I love this road, and that's where all the buildings are going to be on, and that one road scatters throughout the whole area that we work on today, and it slowly makes its way down to the ferry terminal. So it's kind of like a little bit of a, I don't know what you call it, indirect pathway kind of thing. So it does slowly lead down, and I really like it. So the back roads are, they're still the pedestrian friendly roads, but I didn't want it to be one way, so that's why I put that there. But from this point on, the pathway is only one way, so eventually, like I said, that leads down. Now I put in a roundabout because this is going to be one of the main entrance points to this whole residential area, so I thought obviously a roundabout is good, and then also roundabouts are kind of in keeping with the theme. And I also wanted this area, it's a little bit grid-like, but I didn't want it to be just grids, because when you have more free-flowing roads, that's when you get the nice curves on buildings. You have more to work with, and to me personally, it looks more realistic when you have different orientations of your buildings and angles and things like that. So you can see there, the top right corner, that's where the ferry terminal is, and there's also going to be a second pathway, which I'll do towards the middle of this video, I think. Okay, so this part here, this is going to be a little shopping center for this little district. Now I've used that asset before. Actually, I've used those assets a couple of times, but I think they fit in quite well. I like the curve here. It looks right out onto the main downtown, and I wanted to use these large buildings here because I like how they have the larger part than they have the smaller part, and I dragged that over there just to give it a little bit of a difference. I decided to update it with some nicer trees and a bus line as well, because I think it looks a little bit more fancy with those types of trees and an actual bus line. And I know that there's so many lanes on these roads, but they don't really make sense because eventually they lead to nothing, right? But it's more of a grand kind of status theme, which you'll see throughout the whole city. Also, what I'm doing there is I wanted to put little shops at the entrance points wherever the road connects to the larger road, and then on top of these little commercial buildings, I put larger buildings on top, so it becomes a mixed use area. So instead of doing like just one block for commercial, one block for residential, I do like to mix it up. And also throughout this whole area, I like to put in, for example, schools underneath larger buildings, or police or fire trucks. I like to put it in, mix it all together, just so, because I think realistically, if you're in a city, you don't just have one large building that's specifically for one thing. I mean, you do, but sometimes at the bottom of those larger buildings, you might have shops, you might have a clinic, you might have the police, you might have a school, so you have all of those different little things. So I'm just adding in some little back alleyways. I was starting to realized that we needed a few more little connections here and there just to help the flow, and I realized it's not a very pedestrian friendly area. I guess it's more car oriented. But did you guys notice the road types that I'm using? I'm using ones that don't have the road markings, so there's no pedestrian crossings, there's no stop signs, there's nothing like that. It's generally just pretty plain, and I quite like that. It's different from the rest, and the In terms of the building, the look that I'm going for, it's a mixture between the older style and the newer buildings are all of the larger ones. So the smaller buildings are more of the ones that connect everything together, fill in the empty spaces, and then the larger ones are more just to make it fit in with the overall look of the whole city. So in terms of all the detailing stuff like that, I don't show it on camera because I don't really like to show that. Oh, this pathway here, this is actually one of the pedestrian friendly roads. I love using this one. I've been using it throughout all of my cities. If you didn't watch my last episode where I show all of my off-camera cities, if you go watch it, you will see me use this pathway everywhere because I really love it. It's a nice boardwalk. It connects to the road. I even like the pillars underneath, oddly enough, but I think it fits in really well because it gaps the empty space between the buildings and the water because it's a little bit hilly. It's steep terrain, so it's not really buildable, right? You can't really build on it. It's not zonable. So I like to just do these pathways because they fill in that empty space and make it utilized for something. So what do you guys think? I really love it. I love the large boulevard here. I love the large buildings, and I love how we can see the mountains in the background and all the trees and things like that. It looks really nice. One thing I just want to check out is we have all these cars. I assume all of these people are just coming in because everyone is still moving into this area. So let's just see. Some of them are going over to the amusement park. Some of them are just going in here. So yeah, I mean, I assume this traffic will die down pretty quick. One thing that I forgot to do is I just wanted to place down a clinic. I put down a school, which I'll show you guys in a second, but I just want to throw down a clinic somewhere inside of a building. So we might actually just do it here because this is where the issue is with the twin towers. Okay, there we go. It's in there. You can't really see it, so that's great. There's a school in here. So there's an elementary school. They got a little playground right there. And then if we go up here, this is the high school. So there's a little bit of an area where they can go out and chill. It's right next to the train station, so that's really great. What do you guys think of this train line like this? I kind of like it. To be honest, I like it. It's sunken, it's kind of out of the way, shouldn't be too noisy, you can't even see it, so it's not going to be an eyesore. One other thing I just need to do quickly is ban oops, we don't do that. We need to ban cars. This one right here, vehicle restriction. So if you hold down shift, it should do the whole thing at once. Yeah, look at that. Ban them all. I really like how this area is turned out. It fits in quite well. So what do you guys want me to work on next? I'll leave it up to you guys. We have a lot of different areas that we can fill in. So for example, this part over here, we can do some more downtown areas. We can fill in along the coastline. We can do the old town. We can do some more of the tourist area. We can even do a town up in the mountains, or we can fill in this blank spot down here. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys. Also, one other thing that I wanted to mention, well, kind of ask is what kind of video ratio would you like, because I do these videos for you guys, so it's definitely important that I include you guys in what happens. So in terms of like tutorial videos, city fix videos, other games, other things, I don't know, just let me know like what kind of ratio you guys would be interested in, and I'll check that out and work out some kind of idea. Anyway guys, I know this video was short, but I didn't want to do a really long video and like throw you guys into a 30-minute video, and because I feel like maybe we're all not as invested as we was before, because it has been a little bit of a time since we have been here. But anyway, let me know what else you would like me to do. I don't know. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.